Hey guys, Rob Pop Golden here, and welcome to the road to the top 500. The leaderboard, the mecca, the creme de la creme. Everyone wants to be the best Pokemon battler. Everyone wants to be a master. I wanted to prove it to myself that I can get in this leaderboard, this elite status of Pokemon battling. I really wanted to prove it to myself, and I was going to record every battle from rank 1 all the way to the leaderboard if I got there. For some reason my phone didn't screen record one of the sets. I decided to scrap the whole idea. Then as I started nearing the leaderboard, I thought to myself, I want this to be recorded. I want to go back and learn from my mistakes, my misplays, my good plays, certain decisions that I decided to make in certain scenarios, and try to learn from them, and hopefully you guys could learn from them too. Learn from my mistakes. Everyone makes a ton of mistakes, even though nobody wants to. We all want to just make perfect plays all the time. It takes those mistakes to get us to a point where we're not going to make them anymore, and we're still going to make them. It's always going to happen. So basically, it's all a learning experience. So here we go. Without further ado, welcome to my road to the top 500. Just kidding. Nothing else to say. Here we go. So, first team, I decided to use Skarmory, Altaria, Whiscash, Double Flyer, and Whiscash in the back to stop any electric types. So, first game, I don't remember any of these games. I've been playing like a monster, recording all these games and writing things and doing a lot of stuff, so there's been a lot of forgetting all these games. But basically, this game starts off with a Stunfisk against my Skarmory. Terrible lead for us. So we go right into our Whiscash, and they have an Azumarill, which isn't the best Whiscash counter, but it's still going to tank all these Mud Bombs, and we're going to try to whittle it down and then protect Whiscash to knock out that Stunfisk, even though Altaria will do a pretty good job against the Stunfisk. We block the first Ice Beam. We are trying to conserve. They block that as they're trying to conserve. We're going to try to hit them with a Mud Bomb, but they're ready for another Ice Beam. I know Whiscash can tank it. He could probably tank a Hydro Pump at this point. He certainly tanks that. So now we're going to charge up, farm a little bit, hit him with this Mud Bomb, hope that they block it so we can just hit him with another one. And they do, and then we hit him with that second one real quick. This one should knock him out, and it does. So that's great for us. They instantly go into their Stunfisk and try to hit us with a Mud Bomb to knock us out. We go into Altaria, and they go into their Registeel. Now, it was weird of me to make that switch. I didn't want to use my last shield, but it worked out because their counter is a Registeel, and Altaria is actually really good at farming down Registeel. I don't use my shield there. I know that it's going to do about, Flash Cannon's going to do about 50% damage. And I think I'm going to elect to let Altaria get knocked out right here. And we go into Whiscash, and that lock-on from Registeel just does not do much. And we know that we can get to a Mud Bomb and do a ton of damage. And then it's going to come down to, we actually get one more off. I think that was why I did it. I farmed up a little bit extra to try to get one more off. And now I'm going to switch very quickly into Skarmory. And I know I could take at least one discharge. I probably should have blocked this one. It does a ton of damage. But just from not very effective Sky attacks and whatnot, we should be able to get to another Sky attack. We save the shield. We have the shield, so losing lead, sometimes even not having, a safe switch. All these battles, I don't really use safe switches. I like Hypno a lot. I think Hypno is arguably one of the best leads from what I've written down. It has a ton of good matches and not that many bad matchups. What I've learned from all this studying is that I think if I had to pick, Skarmory, Hypno, and Stunfisk are the three best leads. Later on in the battles and episodes to come, you will see me using a lot of Stunfisk. I think he has a lot of great matchups. And I see Hypno a lot as a safe switch, and Ice Punch, Thunder Punch is very, very good. But Sableye, Hypno, Munchlax, all these safe switches, they're a little frail. Vigoroth, they're kind of frail. They kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? You have to use shields to protect them. They're Oh, it starts with an A. I'll remember later on. We're getting in this battle right now. They start Altaria. We start Skarm. That's pretty good for us. Altaria actually does a pretty good job against Skarm, but overall we'd rather have Skarm out. So we go into Whiscash. They switch into their Meganius, I like to call it. We take it instantly because we know now we have double shield, we have Altaria. It's okay. They could Frenzy Plant, they could even charge up Earthquake, they could do whatever they want. It's not going to do anything to Altaria. Maybe 15-20% right there, which is fine by us. We could take 3 or 4 of those. Now they save their shield, which is smart, and now they got that Stunfisk in the back. We got 2 shields. We're going to use one instantly just because that Dragon Breath is going to grind down so quick. We're going to hit them with, looks like a Sky Attack. We farmed a little bit more, and knowing they only have 1 shield, they're going to have to use it. They're not in that good of a spot. I use this last shield here because I know I could take a discharge and I could probably get to that Sky Attack. Even if they get to their discharge first, I'll be okay. But we get to the Sky Attack first and, yeah, clean that up. Sorry, I was completely blanking out at the beginning of that battle. And I'm still going to try to remember. They are... Doesn't matter. Whatever. Alright, here we go. Skarmory, Registeel, terrible lead for us. This is why I ended up not liking Skarmory so much in the lead, strictly because Registeel is so good. So now he makes a great switch, great time switch, and he has some stored energy, goes into a Shiftry, into this Whiscash, and that is just... Leaf Blade charges up super quickly, and that puts us in a pretty bad spot. But we charge up Mud Bomb pretty quickly, and we actually force them to use a shield on the second Mud Bomb, which is fantastic for us. We're going to block this, and we know that we'd much rather have Whiscash to take out their Registeel than Altaria. They burn their second shield right there. Now I'm looking at the switch timer. I see that it just turned up, so we're going to get this Mud Bomb off. For some reason, it's taken them very long to get their Leaf Blades off. So I switch very quickly. It didn't take them long because they had a second one charged up. They were trying to bait that shield and then it hit me. So now we're not in the worst spot because Altaria mirror match. Both of us are out of shields, but I have a Whiscash for their Registeel and a Skarmory for their Shiftry. We shouldn't go down that way, except they're going to have switch advantage, which is huge. So here I go Skarm. We finish that off. A lot of tapping. So right when the Registeel comes in, they're going to go right for a Focus Blast, take a ton of damage from that, and now I'm going to come in with the Whiscash, hope that they switch out so I could clean up that Shiftry, and then try to clean up this Registeel, but they're going to hit me with a Focus Blast, do a ton of damage while we're farming. We're going to hit them with this Mud Bomb real quick and do a ton right back to it. They go into the Shiftry, and we're not going to be able to farm it down, and he actually has another charge move coming up. It's just Leaf Blade, but for some reason it still does hella damage. We're going to go for this Flash Cannon and try to do a ton of damage to this Registeel, and we do. Are we going to be able to... We just get him down because Lock-On doesn't really do much to Skarmory. It's not very effective, and we actually, even though Air Slash is not very effective, we're still able to luckily take the dub on that one. Don't know if I played that one 100%. So now we see a Jirachi lead, and they mostly know Doom Desire, Psychic. Both of those are bad against Steel type, but it still does about 25% damage, which is pretty impressive. We're going to go for a Sky Attack and do about the same thing back to it, so we're kind of at an even pace. Jirachi doesn't really charge its moves up too quickly, but it seems like we're at a pretty even game. I would love to keep switch advantage here, so we take the Doom Desire. We're pretty much in the same exact spot, and he's going to knock us out first, and that's pretty detrimental to this game, I would say. And he has another charge move, so not only does he have switch advantage, he has only about 70% left on this Whiscash. They go into Meganium. I have to switch into Altaria. They go into their Registeel, but now it's an interesting game because I know if I can protect this Altaria and get through the Registeel, I can knock out that Meganium no problem. We don't even have to touch Whiscash. It's just going to be Altaria the rest of the game. It seems like my opponent knows that because they shield the first Sky attack instantly, and I think they're going to shield this one too, and now they have another Flash Cannon ready to go. I'm going to take it. Altaria is going to take about 50-60%, but we're still in this, and we're going to be able to get another Sky attack off. But before we do, oh, good switch on their end. I use the shield here because, wow, that was an interesting play. Alright, so I didn't think I was going to switch right there, but I did so I can get a quick Mud Bomb off. They got the switch off, so now I get that Blizzard off. I kept my shield, and now before they can do anything, I get another Mud Bomb off. That was nice that we kept that shield for this play, so now, even though he's going to knock us out, we left him with an HP. The Flash Can doesn't even knock us out, so we take that win too. That was, not bad. Not too bad, huh? Not too bad. Alright, so Skarm, Azumarill. This is an interesting matchup. Pretty common. We're just going to farm up. Hydro Pump will do a ton of damage to us. Ice Beam will do a good amount, but not as much, so we hit him with the Sky attack. That does some damage. We like to block that Hydro Pump at the beginning, just because our Skarmory is pretty tanky, and Hydro Pump will do about 60-65%. So they use a shield on the Mew. I go into Altaria here, and at this point, honestly, I have no idea what Mew knows. I'm just like, alright, what is this? I hope it's not Ice Beam. It is! It destroys us in one hit. Now we're in a terrible spot. I'm like, alright, what else does it know? It's just Ice Beam, still does a ridiculous amount of damage, and we're just, this is an L, I think. I don't remember this game, but I remember enough to think I don't know what the hell Mew is going to do. So then I studied what Mew does, and I learned it does a whole bunch of different stuff, about 1,000,000 different things it can learn. So before this Azumarill can do anything cheeky with the Whiscash, I decided to go back into Skarm. If it's Hydro Pump, it's going to knock us out. We go back into Whiscash thinking, alright, this is our liability. That's the word. Vigoroth, Hypno, all those Pokemon, their liabilities. I go back into Whiscash. Thanks for bearing with me for 5 minutes trying to remember what that was. So, that was a terrible game. You gotta use your shields against Mew's attacks. You know why? Because it has some great attacks. I hate Tepig. I sped this up even more just to... I probably could have cut all these catches out, but we leave them in there. We show the throws, you know? Alright, so we go up a little bit. We're at 2284, it looks like. Skarm, Dewgong lead. Interesting matchup here. Again, Skarmory has some great leads, and it has some let's see what I wrote down real quick while we're farming and attacking. It has a lot of good leads, and then not too many bad leads. But a few more bad leads than Hypno and Stunfisk do. I could show you the sheet at a later time. Anyway, so I'm Sky attacking. There looks like Icy win. I missed it. They block one of the Sky attacks. They're gonna try to farm us down, and I'm not gonna waste a shield on this. No reason to do that. So now I'm up a shield. They have switch advantage, but I'm up a shield, so that's good. So I'm gonna get a Mud Bomb off, and if they block it, I mean, that's fine. But they don't. They let the Dewgong go out. So they have switch advantage. We're up a shield. Not the worst spot. And they go into Toxicroak. So this tells me that they are probably very weak to this Whiscash. And with only one shield, I'm going to protect this thing. Because I don't know why anyone would put out that against a Whiscash. So we farm it down. And now, what are we going to see in the back? It's a Stunfisk. Very, very weak to Whiscash. Even though it's Mud Bombs, we'll do a good amount of damage. We got farmed up energy. That was just, his team's just weak to this, unfortunately, so I'm going to let this Whiscash get knocked down, and then have Altaria come in and just clean up with Dragon Breaths, and that's going to be a good game. Good game right there. We left him with a shield. He tried to save it for the right thing, but it just didn't matter. He was at a pretty bad disadvantage. So here we see a Haunter lead. Haunter, again, to me, is another shield liability, because, I mean, right here, if he Shadow Balls, yes, it's going to do a ton of damage, but if he Shadow Punches, it's not, and sometimes they have to rush that shadow punch off. It becomes more of a mind game. They have to use a shield there, otherwise they're getting knocked out. So I go Whiscash right here. I'm gonna farm, and I use a shield here. I don't wanna. This time it's a shadow punch, so I could have done that backwards. Actually, this I assume is gonna be another shadow punch, but I use a shield for some reason. I think that was a misplay. So now I put myself in a terrible position. I didn't block the Shadow Ball, basically knocked us out. I blocked 2 Shadow Punches, and neither of those, they both would have done like 25% each. We could have had 2 shields up. This whole game could have been differently. Just from watching back at this, if you make a wrong read like that, if you're not counting the quick moves, it really could come back to lose you the game, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to lose this game. And I'm very weak to that Azumarill with my Altaria in the back, so maybe he knows that, but if we can get to one more Mud Bomb, we could actually have a chance, but he's probably going to farm down the Whiscash and then Ice Beam the Altaria, so before he could farm us down, I go right into Altaria, and he already has the Ice Beam charged up, ready to go. How am I going to talk for an hour straight? My mouth is drier than the Sahara Desert. We see your Registeel, that's GG, we can't farm that down with no shield, it's just not going to happen. I brought a second water up. So we see an Azumarill lead against my Skarm. We always charge up a little bit past the Sky Attack in case they try to do anything cheeky and switch out. They take that first one. So now, again, couple options. They could bait us with the Ice Beam, as they do. It seems like they had the Hydro Pump charged up, ready to go, but they still get the shield out of us. Good play. Hard read to make. And now they're gonna hit us again. We can take a Hydro Pump with this amount of HP, even though it's gonna do a lot. And we're down a shield. And it's important that we have switch advantage here, because even though we're down a shield, we do have switch advantage, which is important. We might actually win the game because of that. I know Whiscash can take a Focus Blast, even though it'll do about 55-60%. They go into Sableye. I'm going to go into Altaria here. They do have 2 shields, and I'm going to elect not to use one. I'm going to take a ton of damage from the Power Gem, but I'm just going to farm down, and even though they have 2 shields, they're almost definitely going to use one here, as they do. And that Dragon Breath is just doing so much damage. Look how much damage it's doing. He almost farms us down completely. This one also kind of looks like an L. They're going to have to block that one just because they have so much farmed energy up. And I try to use a Mud Bomb and knock him out before he could foul play and knock us out, but they go off first. So we do get our Mud Bomb off, and they have no shields. We have to burn our last shield, otherwise we lose. This Registeel is going to come in. We're going to get this Mud Bomb off. I don't think it's going to be enough. It's definitely not going to be enough to knock him out, and I don't think we're going to be able to farm him down because he just has too much stored energy. That's a close game. That's a good game. Hits us with the Flash Cannon, actually. Might have got a little nervous and jumped the gun, but still was able to get enough damage off. So, here we go. Whatever game this is. Game 8, I think. Skarm, Sableye, nice and safe off the lead. Got your foul plays. Got your Power Gems. Foul play does an unbelievable amount of damage, but again, I think Sableye is a little bit of a liability because look how much damage he just took from that Sky Attack. So I could actually almost farm down here. I want a switch advantage. I guess I didn't want switch advantage, so I elect not to block that. I go Whiscash, and with 2 shields up, they go Azumarill. This is going to be an interesting game too. I feel like normally you want to keep your switch advantage, but had I blocked it and knocked him out, he would have probably went Azumarill, and I still would have went Whiscash, so that's a tough one. Your shields are very, very important. We could have taken that play rough. We elect to keep it because we need Whiscash to take care of this Azumarill. This is a type of team that's pretty weak to Azumarill, and maybe they don't know what we have in the back, so they're kind of just not wasting shields on Mud Bombs. A lot of players won't do that, and I know we could take a play rough right here. A Hydro Pump would be detrimental to us living, so we blocked that. It was just a play rough. We hit them with the Mud Bomb. So they have a shield, but we have wow, okay, we're in a good spot now. Alolan Marowak is bad against both of these, both my remaining Pokemon. Takes a little bit to charge up, and he's actually going to get that Shadow Ball off before we can get off another Mud Bomb. But regardless of that, it's a not really good matchup against Altaria, so they quit instantly. So keeping that second shield actually made a difference. The switch lead didn't matter. I think switch lead and shields are both very important. But if you don't know what your opponent starts off with a Sableye, that's pretty safe. You have no idea what they could have in the back. So you gotta make your best call in something like that. So same situation right here. We're seeing a lot of the same situations where they farm up. Once we get, our 5 quick moves and we get to our Sky Attack, we use about 2 more quick moves, and that tells us that if they haven't attacked yet, they have enough for Hydro Pump. Will they use Hydro Pump all the time? No, they might bait you out with the Ice Beam, as we've seen. That time they go for Hydro Pump, the shield was used correctly, I would say. It was a good read. So they go into their Deoxys, Defense Form Deoxys, and has a very bad matchup against Whiscash. I think Rock Slide is bad against it, only does about, looks like 18%. Thunderbolt's bad against it, and Psycho Boost isn't too bad, but it really doesn't do too much, and then their attack gets lowered, so I like that matchup a lot. They switched out from their Azumarill to the Defense Form Deoxys, so we can actually keep Scarf in there for a little bit, and now they switch back out into their Azumarill, and we get that knockout. We see a Haunter. Again, big liability, big damage, but gonna have to waste a shield right here, otherwise that Haunter's almost gonna get one-shotted. He is gonna farm up some energy, which is a little dangerous, but Altaria is tanky enough so that we could take a Shadow Ball right here and then Dragon Breath it down. So that does a lot of damage, but they switch. They try to get us on that Sky Attack, but we knew that it was very weak, so we weren't even going to go for the Sky Attack. We were just going to try to clean up the Haunter without it, I think, and that's GG. So I think we went at 4-1 and 4-1 again, it looks like. Throwing them down. So, okay, funny little Larvitar we got there, all 12Zs. Looks like we only went, 3 and 2 right there. Anyway, alright, so Victory Bell lead, Shadow Victory Bell. That is, this is this game. This game broke my heart. I couldn't have played this any worse. Let me tell you that. Shadow Victory Bell against a Skarmory is terrible for my opponent. Now, I thought that was going to be a power-up punch. They go into Lucario. I don't even know it was playing Lucario, but they go into Lucario. I'm like, there's a power-up punch. It's not. It's a Shadow Ball. We take a ton of damage. We're luckily able to get off a second Mud Bomb, which they're going to block. Lucario is a huge liability. Right here, I'm like, alright, I can't take another Shadow Ball. We're getting dangerously low. Just a power-up punch. Second misread of the game. I'm going to try to farm it down. It uses another charge move, and I'm like, damn, I can't take this Shadow Ball. I'm going to get knocked out. So we waste another shield, and here comes Bastiodon. Literally my worst nightmare with it. I had a Whiscash in the back to take care of this, and an Altaria and a Skarmory to take care of a Lucario and a Shadow Victory Bell, and somehow we are going to lose this game, even though we are getting off Flash Cannons and doing a good amount of damage to that Bastiodon. It's got a Stone Edge all ready to go for this Altaria, and there's no way we're going to be able to farm it down. Unless we can, actually, but it had too much energy. Actually, we probably could have won that game had we been able to farm it down and then Sky Attack the Victory Bell. That would have been GG, but we played that terribly. Every read was wrong, all 3 of them, and that's enough to turn a great lead into an L. So, here we go against the Dewgong. So, really count your opponent's quick moves and try to make the best read as possible. That one was tough for me to take after that loss. I was like, damn, I really can't believe I lost that game. So, Icy Wind actually does a pretty good amount of damage, and it has the attack debuff, which is really good. Icy Wind is a great move, but we're going to get the Sky Attack off a second one, and we're still going to be able to do a solid amount of damage. enough so that they use a shield right there, which is fine. I think we could take another 25% on the Whiscash right here. About, 22 looks like, 25%. And we're going to farm, and we're going to Mud Bomb right here. They're probably going to let this one go through to preserve that last shield that they have now. Here comes Mew. And our attack is down, but seeing that most Mews know Ice Beam, maybe we try to bait the Grass Knot right there. It obviously didn't have enough juice to hit us with anything. So just a Dragon Claw. I think Dragon Claw is actually between Wild Charge and Ice Beam and Grass Knot. I think Dragon Claw wouldn't have done that much, but we can't risk the Ice Beam. So they go into Defense Form Deoxys. Interesting position here. I use the last shield against the Rock Slide. I want my my Altaria to finish off that Mew and maybe try to get a shield here and then have Whiscash maybe have to finish off Mew if it comes to that. I try to switch right there, but I can't. I miss it by a little bit. So this Rock Slide pretty much knocks us out. It doesn't finish us off, and I'm going to try to farm right here. This might be another Heartbreaker. Rock Slide doesn't take us out, just not enough. We're in a Mud Bomb. We have a little bit of farmed energy right now, so we might be able to take this out, and then that Mew is raring to go. Attack right off the rip. Just a Dragon Claw. It's going to finish us off, and that Altaria is just too weak. Couldn't get another charge move off, and that's another L. I'm very confused as to why I put 4-1. I wrote down all my records here, but could have sworn I only went 3-2 in the last one, unless I wasn't paying too much attention. Alright, so anyway, here we go with this game. I'll try to figure out where I stand in a minute, get my head screwed on. So, we got Deoxys using counter. That's the quick move. It's okay against Skarm. We let this Thunderbolt go through. Our Air Slash is doing a lot. And we're going to try to either get them down a shield or switch advantage here. So in this case, we know we could take a Thunderbolt and hit them with 2 Sky Attacks and either have them lose a shield or we'll have switch advantage. One of those is going to happen, and both of those are actually good, leaving me to think that Skarm is actually a good lead against Defense Form Deoxys. So we're farming up like crazy here. Even though Whiscash is at about 45% health left, we're still in a good spot because we have farmed energy and 2 shields. We see a Lapras, which is a bit of a tank, but these Mud Bombs are going to do some pretty good damage, even though its quick move is doing a pretty good amount of damage to us, but we can't have that Lapras see Altaria. It just can't happen, otherwise we're going to be in a really, really bad spot, because its quick move is Ice Shard, and it's doing ×4 damage against Altaria. That's just not good for us. If they have an Azumarill in the back, it's not good for us either. But it's a Sableye, so we can't get that Mud Bomb off in time. Would have been crucial. And so with 1 shield left each, Sableye versus Altaria, both sometimes frail in a sense. So that foul play does about 40%. They have a second one ready to go. Obviously, we have to shield it here. And this one is looking like another L. We're going to hit them with the Sky Attack. They are going to block that, trying to finish us off with the Sableye, and it looks like they're going to be able to. And they had a Lapras in the back. Well played by my opponent on that one. So, here we go, Skarm, and we see a Raichu, a Santa Raichu. I think at this point I was probably thinking, man, this is just like not going well. So we try to do a quick switch and get into Whiscash. They make a nice read into Meganium, and now, it looks like Altaria is going to have to do all the work in this game. We're going to try to chip this thing down. It's going to just farm us down a whole bunch. It's going to try to just farm us down all the way, it looks like, which is a good play kind of on my opponent's part. But I have a Skarmory and an Altaria, so I go Skarm right here. It doesn't really matter. The position doesn't really matter, because in this case, if I go Skarm and I knock it out, they go Raichu, I go Altaria, they have a counter for Altaria. If I go Altaria, they use their counter. If I switch into Skarmory, they switch into Raichu. So I go Altaria thinking, or I go Skarmory thinking, alright, if they go Raichu, I can go into Altaria and maybe they won't have a counter for it. Whereas if I go into Altaria, I know their only counter, or Skarm, I know their only counter is Raichu. So I think we tried to surrender. I don't know what happened here. But this is an elf, so we get out of there real quick. But yeah, I hope that makes sense. Knowing that they have a, knowing that whatever we have, a Skarm or an Altaria, is going to clean up that Meganium. Knowing that they have a Raichu and other Pokemons, a mystery Pokemon, Altaria can get over, they're going to... If we go Skarm and they go Raichu, we go to Altaria. Maybe it's not a Registeel in the back, but if we go Altaria and they go something and we have to switch out into Skarm, we know it's a Raichu. So Skarm is the right play there. It didn't matter. We lost. Here we see a Wigglytuff. Looks like we lost some energy there. I wish I was watching that, actually, because it looks like we switched out. Why in the world would we switch out right there? That doesn't make any sense. So this is like an automatic loss. Skarmory versus Wigglytuff right off the rip. And maybe we thought they were going to switch, so we quick switched into Altaria, and then I think that's maybe what went through my head. Don't ever do that. Don't ever think they're going to switch out until they switch out. Maybe have the switch button ready and your Pokemon ready to go, but don't think they're going to switch out. I don't know if I hit that by accident or not, but that is... Don't ever put an Altaria out against a Wigglytuff. That's crazy. Skarmory is a perfect lead against a Wigglytuff. Steel resists Fairy, and it's tanky, and that's just exactly what you want. How do you lose a game like that? It's tough to lose those. And then we just blocked a Play Rough. That's awful. And here comes the Wigglytuff, and unless I did something really cool, and I just missed it because I was farting around, but here comes the Azumarill with literally 0 HP, but it's still going to be able to Play Rough and knock us out, and that's the game. Didn't feel good after that one, I'm sure. Alright, so here we go. I'm paying attention right now. Skarmory, Meganium, great lead for us. They have to switch out instantly, and they go into Whiscash, and I think, alright, with Blizzard, I don't think I want to waste my Whiscash. I can get a good Sky Attack off and then farm a little more. And Blizzard won't knock us out. Obviously, we can't go to Altaria right here. It is a Blizzard. I decided at the last second that he farmed up enough energy. The Whiscash match is pretty weird. We're going to see in some later episodes wins and losses from my Whiscash and from opponents' Whiscash that just have a very, very mental game of Blizzard and Mud Bomb. And you gotta bait Shield sometimes. He's just a very interesting Pokemon. Mud Bomb charges up very quickly. And Blizzard is just a shattering move to a lot of Pokemon. So right here we know that Altaria can take care of their Meganium that they led with. So we just leave Skarmory in, and there they go. So we got Whiscash for the Registeel in the back, and we got Altaria for this Meganium, and that's just switch advantage, and when it's that crucial of, when it's that big of a type difference. Yeah, oh, maybe this is May 20th. Oh, okay. I wrote the episodes down. Alright, so that was 3-2, 3-2, 4-1, 3-2, 1, okay, literally 1-5. That's pretty bad. So, that was the pity game. We're a lot of battles in already. And we know what's happening in this battle already. The same exact thing, a Hydro Pump, Skarmory, do you shield, do you try to make the Ice Beam read? We shield, it was a Hydro Pump. Okay, anyway, I didn't record the first day. This is May 20th. Got the lucky Meganium pity game because of going 0-5. That was terrible. Sometimes you go 0-5. It happens. Doesn't matter who you are. It could happen to anybody. They switch into Alolan Marowak here. We know we could take a Shadow Ball. Whiscash has a, takes a lot of damage, but for the most part has a pretty good sized booty. He could take some damage. We're going to clean up this Alolan Marowak. They're going to go Altaria. We both have a shield. And now see, here comes the game. Maybe he thinks I'm going to Mud Bomb out of desperation. No, he knows. He knows I'm going. He's not taking any chances. So, I go to my own Altaria. I'm going to take the first one. I'm going to take a Sky Attack. Came out very, very quickly. And now having the shield, even though he's doing a ton of damage with the quick move, I'm going to block this one. I know I'm going to be able to, oh, what a good play. Oh, I don't know nothing. I said I know I'm going to be able to do this. Look at that play, and that's a game right there. That's how you lose a game right there. I try to farm up, looks like one extra time, and Skarmory is going to knock out this Azumarill, and look at this. Look, what a good play by my opponent. That's crazy. Just switch and instantly attack. That when you do that, you feel really good. And I thought I was in a great spot right there, and he really just, that was fantastic on my opponent's part. I mean, you can't make a better play in that position. GG. Here we see the Skarm lead. I don't like to use my Sky Attack right off the rip in case, for whatever reason, they switch. I like to farm up a little bit more. But these matches are a little annoying, to be honest, because it always comes down to who's going to get that last charge move off first. Do you want to be down a shield? Do you want switch advantage? If you use a shield because they went first, are they going to use a shield? And then you got to do the same thing again. It's just interesting, but part of the game. So I get mine off first this time. Now let's see, you know, they have a decision to make. They opt to use a shield, so now I'm not going to use a shield. I'm just going to come and clean up with Altaria. I know they're not going to be able to get off another one, so now we're up a shield. They have switch advantage, but that's just how that, you know, the lead works. So they come in with Whiscash, and we're going to have another one of these interesting matchups with Whiscash, Mud Bomb versus Blizzard. We are chopping it down, very much so, and even if it's a Mud Bomb, I think it's, you have to block this just because we're doing so much damage. So I go into, that's kind of funny, huh? So I go into my Whiscash, they go into their Altaria. So now they're playing the same game. Sky Attack does a ton of damage. I hit them with the Mud Bomb. I'm going to try to bait their shield to hit them with a Blizzard. They go for it. Are we going to be able to get to it? Yes, plenty of time. So that is a whole bunch of damage to a Whiscash, and we still have a shield up. So now we had that Sky Attack ready to go, which worked out nice, because even though they bait the last shield, we're going to get this Sky Attack off before they can get off another attack, even if they had a Blizzard charged up. It was good for us that we had that all ready to go. So, good win. Good win right there. Where are we? Okay. So we see a Shiftry lead. Shiftry's foul play does a lot of damage, but Shiftry is another one of those liability Pokemon. Very high attacker, very weak, and you will have to use shields on him. So he's taking, it looks like about 10% off every quick move. He blocks that Sky Attack. And I think, I don't know why I wouldn't block this right here, but it's a leaf. Okay, that's why, because it's a Desperation Leaf Blade. It looks like it came out kind of quickly, and with the game sped up, it's kind of hard to tell, even though I can see how many moves I'm doing, so maybe I'm making a poor excuse. But good play on my part, not the shield. Even though watching it, I would think, oh, it's a foul play. I want my Altaria to farm up energy and quick move him down, but you make a read saying, alright, that's like that next step saying, alright, I don't need to waste a shield. I can put myself in an even better position and pretty much like automatically win by having him expend all of his energy and us having an extra shield and being in great position. So now he's down a shield and a Pokemon. We see a Meganium, and now Skarmory and Altaria versus Meganium. We have a Skarm come out. He's going to use this shield, or this charge move. That's fine. Now we got Altaria with 2 shields. 2 glasses of water might not be enough. This is crazy. So we're going to use the Sky Attack. Take it right out. He's holding that last shield for the Shiftry, but it's just not going to matter. So that's a pretty good win right there. Young Pepe. On the beat for the next game, we see a Skarm Altaria lead. Or matchup with an Altaria lead. So we hang on to that Sky Attack in case they decide to make a quick switch, which they do, but it's a Azumarill. Excuse me. And I think Skarm is our best chance at taking out the Azumarill. We have Whiscash and Altaria for Altaria, but I guess Whiscash would be okay against the Azumarill. Definitely not Altaria. That's the last thing you want to do. We take a player off right here. We resist it. And I think it looks like we're going to try to farm him down. And we're going to use a shield right here so we can farm them down. And then when that Altaria comes back in, if it does, we have a move ready to go to get them to waste a shield. It comes back in. It looks like I didn't even check. Just trying to get this move off before I get knocked out. And they don't use a shield. And before we get that second sky attack, they actually get to us. So I try to come with Altaria and start quickly getting rid of it. But I use this last shield here, and I'm able to take it out. And we see a Swampert right here. Now, he has 2 shields, saving him for the Swampert, and which he's going to need. And Sludge Wave will do a lot, but we try to make a Hydro Cannon, or a Sludge Wave read right there, it looks like, and we fail pretty miserably. So we take about almost 50% from a Hydro Cannon. He has another one ready to go, but his energy is going down, and he is also pretty fragile. I love Swampert to death, but he's pretty fragile, and he's going to have to use a shield on that Mud Bomb. And he almost is able to get off another Mud Bomb, meaning my Whiscash, but we don't. And then even having a Sludge Wave charged up, it's just not strong enough, and he's just very, very frail, I think. So, that's another good win. So we're having a good array of wins and losses. So the first set was 4-1, then 3-2. Then we went 0-5 and got that pity win. And now we are whatever we are. We see a Zweilous lead. Very interesting lead. If you're going to lead with a dragon, I think Altaria is your bet. But Zweilous is one of those perhaps safe Pokemon, but only knowing, I think, Dark Pulse and Body Slam. We let that one go through. We think, alright, maybe it's a Body Slam. We take it, take another Body Slam, and here we're going to get a Sky Attack off, and now it looks like we're winning the lead matchup, which we do. They take the Sky Attack, and we see a Toxicroak. That's great for us. And we go into our Whiscash here. We could have went Altaria. Could have went either one. And we're going to use a shield here. Really didn't have to. And now we know Hypno knows Ice Punch, so we want to keep Whiscash. And this is an interesting team. Zweilous, Toxicroak, and Hypno. And we're just gonna, him being down a shield, we are just gonna use Whiscash to, I mean, if this is Shadow Ball or Focus Blast, I don't know if we could take it. He does take it, like a little trooper that he is. Look at him smiling, Earthquaking. Not Earthquaking Mud Bomb, but you know. So here, I'm like, alright, he's down a shield. I could farm him down. And he doesn't even, maybe he doesn't know Ice Punch. I don't know what that was. He just doesn't get an attack off. So I get that Sky Attack off it, and I don't have to shield an Ice Punch. And regardless of what this is, Toxicroak is another strong but frail Pokemon. So he does have the Sludge Bomb ready to go. But we have the shield ready for the Sludge Bomb. So we take a dub right there. It's pretty good. This is a pretty good set. We started the day with 2257 CP, and we get a little Litwick. Finish that set 4-1. We got one more set. All the series is going to be like this. And I hope you guys are ready. This entire series is going to be me babbling for a whole hour. Thought I was normally pretty quiet when it comes to battles. I am doing a lot of talking, but hopefully everyone's learning something. If I'm going too fast, please, you know, leave a comment. Let me know what I could do better. I just want to make the best possible videos that I can for everybody. So let me know what you like, what you don't like, and what you think I could do better. And hope everyone's enjoying the videos. You know, something to do while we're all in, you know, weird lockout, very, very interesting times. So here we go. We got a Medicham. Interesting Pokemon. It's strong. It's not too much of a liability, but it kind of is, because I think I don't want to say too much, but we get both shields. We lose switch advantage, but we have 2 shields up, which is even better than having 1 shield up. So trying to block this Ice Punch that he's double powered up punched, we automatically block it. It was Psychic, so it would have done a ton of damage. They have a Lantern. They Thunderbolt this Whiscash, and we are just in with 2 shields, or 1 shield, and a ton of farmed energy. We are in such a good spot. But I remember this game. I'm happy I'm watching it back, actually. So we take out the Lantern, and we see a Scarm. and we know we could Blizzard and do a ton of damage. Sky Attack will do a ton of damage. And they switch out in the meta. Oh, that's such a nice play. See, that was a huge mistake on my part. I should have blocked that Sky Attack by Skarm, because then if he switches into the Metacham, if he doesn't switch, we Blizzard the Skarm and do a ton of damage, and then Altaria can clean it up. If he does switch into the Metacham, then we just farm down the Metacham, and then we definitely Blizzard the Skarm right when it comes back in. And now, the way that this game is playing out, I mean, this guy, he has like 2% health left, but this Sky Attack is gonna knock out the Altaria, and we actually lost that game. We were up. This music is terrible to be losing to, but how we lost that game is beyond me. That is like not him winning. That is just all me losing. That is terrible on my behalf. But we learned from those. So we got a scum. We got a Skarm. We got an Altaria. Here we go. Game 2 of the 5th set. I'm looking at pictures of cats every time I look over here. No, I'm kidding. It's actually the notes. Alright, so here we go. We can take a Sky Attack. We're not going to get knocked out. We're not wasting anything on that. We see an Azumarill switch into, tries to take care of us real quick, and they're down a shield. But we're not in a terrible spot right here. Whiscash could start mud bombing, and he instantly uses a shield. And we're still just going to keep our shields here, knowing how important they are. And Ice Beam does a good amount, but we have Altaria in the back that could take care of their Altaria. And hopefully, with our Altaria toolkit and shields, we could take care of this. And I think we probably should have shielded that one right there, watching it back, because Altaria is going to have a tough time against the Azumarill. So I don't like the way we played that, honestly. That wasn't that good. And they go into a Ferrothorn. We're going to block this one. It was a Power Whip. It could have been Flash Cannon, Thunder, Power Whip. Power Whip's probably the best thing we want to see. And we are just not going to Sky Attack, it looks like. We are going to just assume that it's only Power Whip, and we're going to farm it down. And right here, it has enough to do one more thing. And we used the shield for some reason, thinking maybe it was bait. And this game is... I'm playing this real weirdly. But it doesn't really matter, because they used all their shields at a very weird time. So, in only having Power Whip on a Ferrothorn, it's very, very important that all your Pokemon know 2 moves, and your opponent will probably give you the benefit of the doubt that you have a second move on a Pokemon that only has 1, but it still will be at your disadvantage. It still will really kind of cripple you if you don't have a second move in your little toolkit. So here is the Sableye. I would say that's, a safe lead. But Sableye, it's purified Sableye. So it does no return, but Foul Play is going to do more damage to a Skarm. And right here, it looks like we're either going to go... I'm going to have Switch Lead, because Skarm is just, better against Sableye. But instead of farming down... before I cut myself off, we're either going to have Switch Lead, or he's going to be down both shields. So, he's down both shields. And, he actually uses his energy to knock out the Skarm instead of farming us down. He looked like maybe he was a little nervous right there, and he probably could have farmed us down. But, unless I'm not paying attention, but I'm pretty sure he was in a good spot to do that. So, here comes Skarm, and we got this Blizzard ready to go. And we got a shield just in case. I still feel like we could have played that a little bit differently, but... And now I go into my, my Altaria. We gotta keep in mind now that Skarm has some energy on it. This is a weird way of playing this game. We had to mud bomb the Sableye. Probably could have farmed a little bit more, potentially, but it also does charge pretty quickly. So yeah, I think that was the right thing to do. And changing into Altaria was interesting. So we let this go through. We don't use our last shield. And Yeah, it looks like we might have thrown this one away. This is interesting. We're gonna get this. We're gonna farm to get the last mud bomb off, knowing that lock-on won't, from Registeel won't do much. This blizzard will knock this out, and now that Registeel was ready to go with a move. It didn't even need to use a single lock-on. I don't know if I just said lockout, and that is that's a tough one. That's a tough one. We'll talk more about that one in a second. So here's Skarm, Shadow Gardevoir lead, and even though the quick moves are so good, that is just one of those heavy liability Pokemon. It's very good against like Shiftry and certain leads, but against a Steel lead, it's not good at all. And they quick switch into Umbreon. We hit him with the Sky Attack, trying to hit the Gardevoir with it. We probably should have held off a little bit, but that's exactly, excuse me, how we would have played that anyway. We would have wanted to get the Sky Attack off on the Umbreon, I think, unless we hold it for a later time against that Gardevoir, should we see it again. But we go into our Altaria because we don't want to keep it. Now it's a liability for us, knowing that they have that Gardevoir in the back. So here it comes, takes us out. We go, I would assume, right back into the Skarm, as we do. And having 2 shields, no matter what this is, it probably won't do that much. And that was kind of stupid. Obviously got to shield that, and now we're taking a ton of damage from every quick move. No matter what it was, it's a Shadow Gardevoir. It's very strong Pokemon. It's very strong Pokemon. So luckily, it's a Stunfisk in the back, and us having, I mean, we have 2 shields, they have 1, so we're in a good spot. We're just gonna be able to use them here. And they switch into Umbreon. That's a very well timed switch, and they're gonna take this this Mud Bomb. And even though we would have had a hard time farming it down anyway, because Umbreon's a little tank, this one's gonna be close. But this also could have been a losing game for us. But keeping that shield now, it's one. You know, I mean, a Stunfisk Mud Bomb versus a Whiscash Mud Bomb against the Stunfisk, it's pretty one-sided, so it's not going to be able to hit us with enough. So, interesting way of playing that, but that Mud Bomb isn't to take out the Stunfisk. We will get the win on that one. I'm going to try very hard not to forget to go back to the other game. Let me mark what time that was. Yeah, okay, 4 minutes, so 46. Alright, so we see a Registeel lead. That's bad for us. We go into Whiscash. Not a safe switch, but that's our switch, and their counter for us is an Altaria. Here we go with the mind game. Mud Bomb number 1, they use a shield. I'm going to make them think I got enough for a Blizzard, which I do, but I'm going for Mud Bomb number 2. And we get the second shield, and they're locked in with that Altaria. They're going to be able to get off a second Sky Attack, which would knock us out, and we know probably could have farmed a little bit more right there, honestly, but that timer's ticking, and we don't want to see them switch out and then we lose the game because of it. So they go Azumarill, we switch into our Skarm. They're going to be able to, they could farm a little bit, they can go back into Registeel right here, but we need at least one Mud Bomb to get off against that Registeel, and hopefully Altaria can do the rest. That's our win condition right now. They use their Hydro Pump, they expend that Azumarill energy, and here comes the Registeel with a quick Flash Cannon. Smart play to not go for a Focus Blast and waste energy right here. He is going to have a little bit of energy on him. So, he takes a Mud Bomb. If we can get another one off, that'd be fantastic, but we can't. And now, with an Altaria versus Altaria versus Registeel isn't the worst thing in the world, but knowing they have Azumarill in the back, this is going to be a very hard one for us to win. And I think the only way we could win is if we farm it down completely. We get a Sky Attack off on the Azumarill switch. It did use all of its energy on a Hydro Pump. Can we get off another Sky Attack before it gets off an Ice Beam or a Play Rough? Yes, we can. And Altaria might pull through with the win on this one if we could farm this Registeel down. And we do. Altaria coming through. Their energy expenditure was very vital to that. When we finished that set, I mean, looking at the screen 3-2, but I could see it on my paper 3-2. And we get a Dino. I love getting Dino much more. And now look at this. Here we go. The throw. I slowed it down on purpose. Wailord with the clutch assist. We got him. I always try to time the throw right when their attack is done, but it was too early. But Whale Lord was like, Tone, I got you. Don't worry about it. So, alright. Now, you guys won't see this, but I'll see this, so we can talk about this just a little bit more. The Sableye game. Nah. Too much to try to figure out what's going on right now. I'm very spacey from watching all these games. I am rewatching and seeing what I'm doing against the Sableye in that game. If you feel like going back and watching that, by all means, I should have played that a little differently, I think. Or maybe not. We had one shield, they went Scarm, we used our Blizzard. Feel free to skip over this if you'd like. We switched into Altaria. I don't know why we switched into Altaria. Interesting. Interesting. Sometimes it seems like a good play in the moment. You go back and you realize, I should have done this. I shouldn't have switch locked myself. Even though the game itself doesn't seem very complicated, and someone playing a lot of competitive, VGC Pokemon, I've seen there's just so many variables in between singles and doubles and certain things that you need to learn in between all the items and abilities. There's a ton going on in Pokemon battling VGC, and when you see a game like this, you would think it's pretty simplified. You got one quick move, 2 charge moves, 2 shields, 3 Pokemon. 3 Pokemon's probably the most important. 3 Pokemon, 1 charge move, 1 quick move. You have Pokemon and they're fighting, and you have shields, and it's way simpler than VGC. And I don't know how to talk that well. I'm sorry. But anyway, even being a much simpler game, there is a ton going on, is what I'm trying to say. And you need to study and practice. Practice is the best teacher. Study your mistakes. Go back, watch the wins, screen record your matches, watch the wins go. I did this right, I did this wrong. In this episode, we went 15-11. We started at 2257. We ended at 2292. So we went up 35 points. 35 points. I just did that. I wasn't even counting anything. I just did that. 15-11. So every win gets you about 8 points, I like to think. So 4 more wins than losses, about 32. We get 35. That's fine. So the first day we went 17-8. We started at about 2120 CP. We ended with 2257. Now we're at 2292 in the first episode. 15-11. We will see in the next episodes to come how my playing changes a little bit, and how I also think that the more you play, the more you find out what other people are using as leads, what's more effective. I think putting the time into try to figure out the best possible lead, that is very vital. You could have a very good team, but if you put yourself in the best position possible early on, you will just give yourself that much more of an advantage to win. We will see that in the next coming episodes, and I hope everyone enjoyed this very much. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, all that annoying shit. If you have any criticism, by all means, please let me hear it. I want to make these videos as good as possible. Sorry I was a little scatterbrained on this one, trying to do a bunch of stuff and make sure all my grounds are covered. But yeah, hopefully it was a good first episode. Hope everyone enjoyed it. I hope everyone has a good rest of their day or night after watching this. Be good. we'll see you in the next one, baby.